The paper was torn from the back of a takeaway menu, the corner still glossy, with a faint smear of sweet chili sauce. She wrote in bright orange ink, the sort usually reserved for underlining deadlines, and the letters leaned dramatically to the left as though staging their own protest. The folds were overconfident and slightly crooked, one wing marginally wider than the other, giving the aeroplane the posture of something that believed itself far more aerodynamic than it truly was.
I have been replacing the good biscuits with the cheap ones for 6 months. You think the supermarket has changed the recipe? You have said, on at least 4 occasions, that they don't make them like they used to. You have blamed inflation. You have blamed imported flour. You have even blamed modern preservatives, though I am not entirely sure what you meant by that. It is not the preservatives, it is me. You insisted on buying the expensive brand, the ones in the navy tin with the embossed lid. You said they tasted like childhood. You said nothing else compared. You also said, very firmly, that they were for guests. Apparently, I am not a guest. The first time I swapped them, it was not strategic. I had finished the good ones while you were at work and panicked when I saw the empty tin. I drove to the nearest shop and bought the cheaper version because they were on special. I told myself you would not notice. You noticed. You took one bite, frowned slightly, and said they seemed different. I nodded gravely and said perhaps the supplier had changed. That was when I realized how easy it was. Now, whenever the tin runs low, I buy both kinds. I refill the tin with the cheaper biscuits and hide the good ones in the pantry behind the rice cooker. When guests come over, I perform a swift exchange before you enter the kitchen. Last week, you gave an impassioned speech to your brother about the decline of biscuit standards in this country. I nearly confessed when you began comparing crumb texture. I did not. There is something absurdly powerful about controlling the contents of the navy tin. I have eaten the good biscuits in quiet triumph, while you dissect the inferior crumb structure of the imposters. If this is my villain origin story, it begins with shortbread.
She opened the back door and flicked the aeroplane into the warm afternoon without ceremony. In the keeper's chamber, the folded menu settled upon the desk and was opened in restrained amusement. As the final crease eased flat, a faint burst of laughter drifted briefly through the chamber's high rafters before dissolving back into its patient stillness.